Hello, hello, hello. Right, Flurkle, hello to you. And let me first of all just say big thank you to Nixo coming in with 5 months and Flurkle coming in here as well with 17 months. Flurkle, nice to see you. Hope you're doing well.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard the Captain Black Box infotainment experience. New subscribers should now pick up their pass to first class. Thank you.
And Veller90 as well. Thanks for Twitch Prime 2nd month. Veller, appreciate that. Thank you so much. Iowa Scotsman, hello to you as well. Right, let me just say hello to Easy, hello. And Organaviator, hello. Elias, good Abend. Svenja, nice to see you too. Martin, hello to you. Peter, nice to see you. Henry, der Geile as well. Thank you so much, everyone. Yeah, something weird just happened as I was just getting the stream running. I had everything set up here with the A350, and then suddenly the sim just quit. Nothing, it just went off. That was it. So hopefully we've passed that. Right. So before we start, let me just say a couple of words regarding the issues I've had on the last stream. So because of the issues I had with OBS, with the freezes there, I read somewhere that I was supposed to switch off hardware acceleration. So the HAGS in Windows. I did that, but what I didn't realize is that it actually then kills NVIDIA DLSS. So you can't run NVIDIA DLSS if you are not using hardware acceleration in Windows. And so what Microsoft Flight Sim did, it went to FSR DLSS, which is the AMD version of DLSS. And then, of course, we started running into issues with some really weird stuff with the stutters and so on. And I saw that Toto was actually mentioning something about some weird artifacts, which I saw on the replay as well. And that was because of the FSR, just not being being the best DLSS to use with NVIDIA graphics card. So now I've activated hardware acceleration again. I have gone back to NVIDIA DLSS, and so hopefully it should run smoother. The only thing I'm worried about is the fact that now OBS hopefully won't freeze, but man, I honestly don't know what's wrong with OBS at the moment. The HUD bar at the that is from the Volanta, and I can restart that again. Let me just do that. Yep. All right. So welcome everyone. We are flying the iniBuilds A350, the latest version 1.1.0. And hello, Adrian and Cargo Pilot, more to you. Yeah, so hopefully that is now working with the HUD. Yeah, you're right. So I mean, I made a flight plan for Munich to JFK. Now, obviously, we're not going to get there. Okay, we're going to be trying out.
Welcome aboard the Captain Black Box
some of the new features.
Experience. New subscribers should now pick up their pass to first
yeah,
class.
It goes.
Thank you.
And Michele, thank you so much, Michele, coming in with the Twitch Prime as well. Or Michelle, I don't know how to pronounce. Is that Michele or Michelle? Hard to know how to pronounce it. Welcome though. So I was actually getting excited with the new features here in the iniBuilds A350 because they have a new cabin layout. So they did announce some cabin stuff, right? Some new lovely cabin textures, and they created a big shitstorm first of all because. They first said it's going to be payware, right? And then there was a huge shitstorm, and then they went full back again. And now it's free, so you can get 2 cabin packs, texture packs for free now. through iniBuilds Manager. So I did that, and so here we have the Lufthansa cabin layout. And no, Ghost, I'll try to hurry up, but we're going to try some features because there's also some interesting scenarios that have been implemented now. Adrian, you bought 6 energy drinks? Come on. That's why on the initial title, I said, question mark, right? Bodo Moin. Yeah, so today's schedule is as follows. So we're going to try to do as many scenarios as possible here in the iniBuilds A350, and then in about, I would say, 2 to 2.5 hours, then we're going to go to fly the FS Labs A321neo on the next leg from Brussels down to Nantes. The curtains sound weird? Well, yeah, I mean, I was surprised that you could actually move them. So I was surprised they actually went through all the troubles to get that sound. Changelog, guys. I'm sure they did lots of changes, and the biggest thing I saw was regarding the WASM crashes. They did something internally with the system simulation connections, whatever. And so apparently, hello Andreas. Apparently now it's supposed to be a lot more stable. So we'll see. But again, I've already had a crash the desktop just sitting here idle on the ground. So. Not sure what that was all about. Right. Now let me just have a look. Can I get GSX? Additional services. Let's get ground power units here. The head-up displays, well, I mean, there should be just placeholders. They're not active yet. They did say they will make this active with the next update, right? Elias, good question. Unless it's like a setting somewhere in the EFB menu, then I don't know how that. Is there a power button? It is. There is, right? That's kind of weird. So they simulate the EFB only to be working with external power. So, where's my ground power? Where is it? Ah, okay, ground power. It's me not being patient enough again. Rybonius, good, and MMP, hello to you. Does Lufthansa have HUDs IRL? I think so. Correct me if I'm wrong, but on the A350, I think they have, don't they? And Pilot 19, welcome to you. Oh, you can put the EFB in the middle screen. Ah, hang on. Hold on. EFB on the middle screen. Hang on. So, display cycle. No. Sorry, how do I do that? How do I get the EFB showing here? The button under hang on. There we go. Found it. Thank you. There we go. So then what I'm going to do is let's go to ground. I'm going to enable GSX menu here, and then we'll request the GPU there. Fantastic. Cool. Alrighty. And let's get the aircraft powered up. Now let's get that back to the normal service. And then I want to do the following, because there is some PE announcements as well available. Okay, so what? Lufthansa is not implementing HUD on the A350 either? Man. They're trying to save money on all kinds of stuff, I guess. Okay, so MMP, thanks for confirming. Lufthansa does not have HUDs. Well, I guess it's kind of uniformity across all the different fleets. Because we have we have HUDs installed, but we're not allowed to use them. So there we go. Alrighty, what we're going to do is I'm going to go to Flight Ops menu. Let's go to Plan. No, where's my status? There we go. So SimBrief import. So go Munich to JFK, and then what we'll do, we're gonna go ahead. Oh yeah, guys, and please, if you have or see that the stream is freezing or something, please let me know here in chat. That would be much appreciated. So let's go on the flight plan. Oh, hang on, let's go status first of all. So we have good database there. In it, let's do company request. MW Racing, hello to you. Yeah, exactly, yeah. So yeah, and the reason is that the 777s that Lufthansa gets don't have HUDs either. So that way, since it's a common joint rating, 787, 777, that's why they don't do that. Right, level 380, and so let's have a look. Can we get ATC?
Welcome aboard the Captain Black Box Twitch channel subscriber experience. Could new subscribers please make your way
Let's
to the
go
first class cabin, where complimentary
direct
drinks,
ATIS.
snacks, and premium flight entertainment
Let's
will be
send that.
served. Thank you.
Hey, Ollie B, nice to see you. Thank you much for the 21 months. Good evening. And Lilienthal, hello to you. Nice to see you. How is everyone faring with the heat here in Germany, at least? I know it's really hot. Well, I mean, Europe in general, right? Spain, Portugal, France, even the UK has had a heat wave. So today, right now, it's 33 degrees here where I live, and my room here has 28 degrees. So, Mobile, hello. Yeah, I know, right? But the thing is, though, guys, I'm honestly, I'm enjoying flight simming right now. I really am. Even though I'm running into some issues regarding the sim, at least Microsoft 2024. I'm trying to get used to it. But yeah, it's just running into some issues. But we'll see. Hopefully all good today. No, I don't have air conditioning yet. I may have it installed next year. Yeah, I guess it's worth it now. You have to start the APU at home, yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. So BD, I'm trying to figure out, I think the best time to order a air conditioning to be installed is like in wintertime, right? They should be cheaper then. I search it, I can imagine, yeah. Like I said, air conditioning. You know what the real bad thing is about these heat waves is quite often here in Europe or Northern Europe, you get a lot of humidity. And so that's why, you know, it's always a really kind of a tough, tough atmosphere with the humidity and so on. So the air conditioning units, what is good with them is the fact that they take out the humidity out of the room as well, right? So that already helps a lot. We are going to go with the Give Me 6 Quebec. There we go. So let's do that. And then we'll insert that. JFK, I'm not going to worry about it. Yeah, I have a fan running in the background. I do have a fan. That is what I have as well. Right, regarding our departure route. Right, hopefully changing scenes doesn't crash my OBS. I just realized I shouldn't do that, really. But you can see the routing here. We do have some thunderstorms on the way. Yeah, let me try not to change views or scenes in the OBS today, because that's what was crashing OBS the last time. Good. So we'll do that now. Regarding messing about with the latest update, because they did announce a couple of things here. For example, so yeah, I was talking about this. So early development, blah blah blah, resolve WASM crashes. So they did technical improvements regarding WASM crashes, and then now they did a deeper system overhaul, including a comprehensive revamp of the ECAM system, featuring detailed failure states and input from real-world engineers. Okay, so again, there's a couple of things we're going to have a look at today. Improvements to the flight management system, enhanced data entry sequencing, and so you have new features such as better step climb logic, equitime points, CDA, ETT, and CMS. Good God, all this. Continuous descent, I would imagine, and CMS, whatever that is. Further bolster the aircraft's long-haul capabilities. More recently, the fly-by-wire system received enhancements, including the auto derotation feature. Now, I actually had to look this up, but our good old expert, Bruno, already posted something on our Discord today, so I can read that. So the derotation law reduces the authority of the stick in pitch during this phase in order to be able to smoothly control the nose gear to the ground without the risk of pilot-induced oscillations. Right, that's the idea with the derotation, so the auto derotation. The A350 is currently totally different. It could be a discount, yeah, because of the FS Expo, right? Hey, crap landing, Dave. Nice to see you. 67 months. Oh my God. Thank you so much, Dave. How are you? Heatwave plus 4090 free sauna. It is. It is. All that's missing now is some nice.
Plus 4,000
yeah.
equals free sauna smile.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dave. Yeah, so I guess maybe Flurkill, maybe that's what has to do. So what we're going to do later when we touch down, we're not going to touch the stick. Just let the aircraft derotate. So I guess that's what it does. We'll see. Now, so one of the more notable stability improvements in this update addresses a persistent WASM crash related to the aircraft's combus system, whatever that is, a component responsible for passing information between different systems. iniBuilds has removed the combus entirely, opting instead for direct data reads from source files. This change significantly improves overall stability and should prevent further occurrences in this particular WASM crash. Okay. Hey, Michelle. Omakile. Good evening. Do you think about the announcement, Microsoft? Well, I mean, honestly, I have kind of moved to a stance where whoever and whatever company makes announcements, I'll always take it with a pinch of salt. I'll always just going to wait until the add-on is released and then have a look at it, and then we'll form a verdict. I honestly think, whatever the past, who knows, if they get their act together, maybe they will produce something nice. So I'll leave that open, that possibility. But, I'm not going to get worked up about it. Simple as that. What do you think about X-Plane against Microsoft? I don't want to see competition. Yes, to a certain degree is always good, but I think X-Plane and Microsoft are very different platforms regarding the way aircraft are simulated, environment is simulated, etc. So I'm glad that we have those two different platforms. And I'm very happy to see that X-Plane is also really improving the visuals, because that was a lot of people were complaining about. So again, see it as two different platforms, and whoever opts for different or wants to focus on different aspects can choose the platform which is best for them. Right? It doesn't mean you have to get both. All right, so one thing I am interested in trying out today. So a highly requested feature has been made its way into the iniBuilds A350 airliner, fully functional emergency evacuation slides. It was first introduced with the A300. The slides are directly tied to the aircraft's door arming logic. Once the doors are armed, triggering an evacuation. So here's my idea. All right. So when we go into evacuation at some point later on. So if I'm correct, if I press this button, this should then initiate the evacuation process and get the slides extended, right? At least that's what I would think. But again, we're going to try that out later. Let me just quickly do this, and then trying to get the systems running. Hey Nate, how are you doing? Delta Pressure recently made the jump from 2020 to X-Plane 12, and you love it, but you miss our good old add-ons like the Phoenix against Tolis. Yeah, that's the thing, right? That's what I mean with. It's always tough to, to know what people are focusing on regarding flight simming, and hence, it's just tiring to discuss and argue pros, cons, and again, you make up your mind what you want to focus on with flight simming, and then just get the platform, or both. I mean, whatever you want to do, just do it. All right. Let me have a look here at the ground. So let me have a look here. Then let's go request refueling. Let's get that going. So already have the flight plan inserted. Aligning the INS. Here's the wind. So easterly winds, Cavalcade 31 degrees. It's actually cooler in Munich than we have it here. Crazy. And then we have 1017. So there we go. 1017 is set. Let's set that here as well, and it's synced up on the right-hand side as well. Nice, cool. Yes. So scenarios, guys. So this is the interesting thing. So I was trying to mess about with a few things to see if they were actually active, and then I was kind of upset because when I took off after takeoff, I think we only had bird strike available. And then later do an engine failure. But all of the bottom ones were not able. And then I found out that these, so medical emergency, unruly passenger, and smoke in the cabin. Well, I didn't try that, but tried this, the unruly passenger. That only works above 30,000 feet. There we go. So that's the thing I found out today. So we'll try that. We'll see. it's quite funny. I don't want to spoil it too much because it is funny. At least part of it. There's one thing that's missing though, but we'll talk about it. And then somebody was saying that apparently, even though it says on the changelog, it says that these scenarios implemented, and I've seen it on the iniBuilds forum as well, where they said it's implemented, and then somebody was saying that it's not implemented yet at all, and I was like, no, it's working. At least in parts, it's working. So we shall see. Anyways, let's see. Let's do the outside check, shall we? So. It's a beautiful aircraft, I have to say. I like it. Hey, Voyager, moin. I totally forgot. Does this have wear and tear? It does, doesn't it? So the tires will get worn out after a while. Giftsback, hello to you. Yeah, any experience of drunk passengers? Yes. Lots. So usually the best thing to deal with it is prior to departure. So that's why it's so important for the staff at the gate to have a close eye on the passengers, and then also, you know, have us contacted if they notice a passenger being drunk or intoxicated. And then of course the cabin crew, they are always very carefully monitoring the passengers when they board. Not just for drunk or intoxicated passengers, but also for people that look sick. And you know, that's worth a lot, because once you're airborne, especially on a long-range flight, with lots of fuel on board, hey MAN, greetings, you know, then you have a problem. If you know, somebody gets sick during the flight or then becomes unruly during the flight because of the intoxication, one of the weirdest or most kind of tragic instances I've had on an A320 a couple of years ago was someone under the influence of some hard drugs, and then it looked like an overdose, and then we had to do emergency landing. And yeah, get him to hospital quickly. So that was something. Yeah, it happens. That's. Hey, flying engineer. What we're looking at today? Well, A350 from iniBuilds latest version, and they do have some scenarios we want to mess about with. So, so the plan is to prepare. Take off, have a look at some features for the climb and getting the cruising level, weather radar, etc., etc. And then, yeah, we're going to try out some scenarios. MAN, unfortunately not. With that person under drugs influence, there was no doctor on board, no. And so, yeah, that's why we had to do an emergency landing. Yeah, there's several ways. So one way to do it is like Easy being a doctor here on YouTube. He's a doctor, and you can actually register at the airline if you want. You don't have to, but if you want. And then the purser gets an information on their private, on their work tablet. That that passenger is a doctor. The second way, what you would do is if you have a very sick passenger that needs medical attention, you can call out, ask for a doctor over the passenger address. Maybe some of you have heard that. You were on board a flight, and maybe you heard some some flight attendant make an announcement over at PA asking if there's a doctor on board. Yeah, but again, registering at the airline, that's free. It's you know, it's not it's voluntary. You know, you don't have to if you don't want to. I've had many passengers that I denied boarding because of either being drunk or being very sick. You know, obviously being very sick, and it's not something that I can do. It actually says in my rules and regulations for the airline, it actually says I have to offload passengers that are obviously intoxicated or very ill. So it's not an option. It's a must do. Hey, Ross. So you heard a doctor announcement flying to Dubai with Emirates. Nice. Yeah, you see that's, yeah, like I said, I mean, if I have to estimate on the A320 when I was flying a lot, I would have, I think I had about 10 instances per year where they called out a doctor, if not even more. It does happen often. Luckily though, most of the time. Hey boss, thank you so much. Airbus A350, thank you for the 7 months. I'm doing well. How are you doing? Bit hot, but otherwise I'm doing fine. Thank you so much. Yeah, so very often you have passengers just getting problems with their circulation, right? So, you know, maybe they didn't drink enough, or their blood sugar levels just dropped too far. So a lot of times you can get them stabilized very quickly. And often, you know, they have someone accompanying them, and they can tell them, oh yeah, he's got or she's got this and this medical issue, and they've got some medicine, etc. So a lot of time there is help. The things that are difficult are when people become unconscious and are on their own and didn't voice any prior symptoms, right? That's a difficult thing. But once you have a doctor on board, they're usually able to help really well. So, hey Tobias, good evening. Yeah, Voyager. Sure. All right, so fueling wise, we've got 25.1 tons in. So let me do the following. Let's do boarding while refueling. So let's go request boarding. Boarding requested. And then let's see, that's that. Oh yeah, perfect. That triggers the jetway, which is nice. Cool. Oh really? So Martin just checked on the iniBuilds store. There is no discount. It's 70 euros again. Okay. Maybe they stopped it. I don't know. Regarding the FS Expo, it's a shame I couldn't go for two reasons. I was actually sick for one, but the second one was some family business I had to take care of, so I couldn't go. But one thing that was dominating again, in my opinion, wasn't so much software announcements, but hardware announcements. We're getting flooded with hardware stuff. So, I mean, that's exciting for sure. So the discount for the A350 was probably only during the FS Expo. Yeah, could be. Hey, Mats. Oh, Matsi, hey. Good evening. Happy sweat. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I talked about Windwing the other stream. Yeah, definitely a lot of things coming from the Windwing, and of course to
B1 crew. Pilots boarding starting.
Obviously, there's a lot of low prices from them. which makes a lot of people happy, right? But obviously it makes competition difficult to compete with these low prices. Hey, Captain Chaos. That is true. Although, here's Captain Chaos, here's my theory. You have to get above a certain critical level, right? So once you have passed a critical level regarding hardware, meaning you have so much hardware stuff lying around in your room that that nobody notices anymore if you get any more. And I think I've reached that last year. So I would say my wife would never notice any more hardware if I do it cleverly, all right? So exactly, the hardware saturation level. That's what I would call it as well, Mark. That's a good quote. Hardware, the hardware.
That's how pros do it.
Exactly. So the hardware saturation level. Once you are past that, you're good. You're good to go. No need to hide anything anymore. Perfect. Yeah, right. I don't know. Hey Martin, do you know? Anybody know? Was Microsoft or Sobo at the FS Expo? Airbus. True. Maybe I would eventually notice because I want to install certain hardware. Then I would probably notice. But hang on. Why is it not aligning? Do I have to? Oh, I actually probably have to do alignment, don't I? So let's do IRS. IRS align on reference. Oh no, hang on. Disregard. Init. So
Your crew has boarded.
IRS.
Passengers boarding starting.
But it's saying IRS aligning on this position. It's just taken a while. Oh, Dennis, no. No, I would not fall for that. Hey, Natasai, do you experience micro status of freeze when it's updated? When start GSX, please? I have not noticed it, no. I'm hoping that these stutters on landing are fixed. I hope those were related to the wrong FSR setting there. Hey, TV Revenjo, you don't want to complain? It's hot in the Netherlands. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, TV Revenger, I agree. The best thing to do is not to use your PC and not to flight sim. But I was just curious to try the A350 today. Ghost, well, I mean, that was actually quite funny when we did that like 2 or 3 years ago. Or was it longer? 4 years ago? On the Christmas stream. Yeah, that was quite funny. So, maybe this this year. Has it loaded the wins already? It has. No, it's not. Company wind request. Let's do that. Insert. There we go. Now that's it. Cool. Excellent. Right. Flight plan, fuel and load. Now we're still fueling. That's taken a long time. Blimey. Yes, order for us blue we are. So I was showing that already here. There's a couple of things here in the menu. So there's new things in here. And I was a bit disappointed at the beginning because I was having a look at these during the climb out this afternoon. And those were actually deactivated. But I thought, well, maybe it comes up at a certain altitude. And it did. Level 30, well, 30,000 feet. I could select these situations. And I tried the unruly passenger, which was quite funny, actually. Failure-wise, now there's lots of failures. And again, they have updated things. Now they have engine fires in here. So we could try those. Electrical faults. Flight controls. Fuel anti-ice. Navigation. Oh, hey, look at that. They have engine failures. So yeah, we can try some of these, and then the situations. We already had a bird strike, and from the picture you saw in my announcement today for the stream, you saw the aircraft with deployed slides. So that's something you can do as well now. Yeah, I'm going to try to force that too. Yeah, and one thing, guys, usually, it should be deactivated anyways, but in your aircraft config file, let me just find it here for the iniBuilds. Have all of these at the same time? No, I don't think so. That would be funny. I mean, you could try yourself. You know, the dual engine failure, we did that. We tried the decompression and we tried the dual engine failure because that has been implemented for quite some time now. And so the dual engine failure, you do actually get one engine restarted. Because obviously trying to do a full dual engine failure without restart, I guess that's just pushing the luck a little bit. Common. Let me just find the airplane config file. Hang on, here. X-ray Yankee. Sim objects, airplanes, A350 liveries, iniBuilds. Where's the config? Aircraft config files for the A350. Yeah, because in those aircraft config files under services, look at under the prompt services, you will find all the options regarding fueling truck, cargo loader, jetway, etc. And you're supposed to put everything on 0 apart from the jetway. And that is to prevent GSX loading in these services as you come into the flare. Because that's usually the point where these services load in. And that can potentially cause some issues with bad stuttering on touchdown. But there's videos on YouTube for that if you're really interested. To restart, how long needed for the A350? It doesn't really take that long. Startverbot says you can also disable the whole Asobo ground service by renaming a file in the official files. And then you don't need to... Okay, that's interesting as well. Okay. The thing is, though, I've never had any bigger issues until our issues we had on the last stream with the FS Labs in Glasgow, yeah. But MAN, so what I did, I practiced another landing again in Glasgow and in Brussels, and I did not have the big lags. I think I had some smaller, but those were hardly noticeable. So I am hoping that we are in a better shape today. Yes, it was, yeah. Yeah. Oh, and another thing I was wondering about, so you can see the passengers boarding, but iniBuilds does not give you the option to show passengers in the cabin. And I think they did that because of performance issues. So you can't activate that here in the 350. Cubing Demon, hello to you. No, MAN. The thing was, so MAN, you know, it started with my issues with OBS, all right? So with OBS, the freezing. Then I did some research, and it was saying that you should deactivate Windows hardware acceleration. And so I did. However, what they didn't tell you then obviously is that if you're running Microsoft Flight Sim with DLSS from NVIDIA, you need to have hardware acceleration active. So when I deactivated hardware acceleration, it deactivated my DLSS frame generation, and it actually switched it to the FSR, the AMD frame generation. And I think that is what caused the stutters. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Thank you, Stadtverbot. So, Sober Services, Airport Services shared. Rename it to Service SPB or something else. Okay, thanks. I will try that, Stadtverbot. Much appreciated. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's why I love the community, the swarm intelligence, if you like. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you. TV, it depends. Not really. I mean, I guess it has to do with many factors, with your graphics card and which DLSS version you're running, which graphics driver you're running. Many different. Oh yeah, but that, yeah, of course. If you have an AMD card, then of course you should use the FSR. But I have NVIDIA, hence it's a bad idea to actually use FSR. Okay, so we've done the flight plan. We have data checked. Init A page is filled out. We had wind data uplink, nav aids. Do we need anything special here? Let's do terminal charts. Munich. That is something I don't understand. Why didn't I already choose Navigraph as my service provider? Yeah, Navigraph. And I did update that. So why is it not using Navigraph in the EFB? Or is it? It is. I take it back. Disregard. Forget about it. I didn't say anything. Initially it looked like the Lido charts for some reason to me. No, but these are Jefferson. All good. Okay, so we're doing the give me six Quebec. God, the heat is getting to me, guys. I'm sorry. Oh my God. All right, so give me 6 Quebec. So we have 08 left, climb runway track 2 miles, Munich North. Yeah, so we need Delta Mike November and Mike, I think. All right, yeah, there we go. So we're going to take Delta Mike November. And for the ADF, where's ADF? ADF. Data. Nav 8. Oh, no ADFs available on A350, thanks. Okay, I could have searched for a very long time then. So, why is it not loading any... Oh, because of the fueling. So that's why we don't have... I guess that's why we don't have any cargo loading going on. Yeah, probably. So you can enable... equipment Oh, there we go. But it says here, right? It says option is managed by livery. So that's why I can't do that here. Any information on the Xbox A350? I wouldn't know. No, I've not heard anything. Easy. Yeah, it's one of those things, right? Ein freudscher Versprecher, as we say in Germany. How much fuel do we actually want? How much fuel do we want? We want to have... Oh, really? Martin says the first preliminary crash report for the 787 will come in a few days on the 12th of July. Okay, interesting. Because previously they were saying like it's going to be in 3 months or something. But then 12th July would be within the 30 days, right? Okay, so the NDTV, is that like in Indian television or something, or? Yeah, thanks for the info, Martin. Appreciate that. Yeah, that's something I am anxious to hear, right? Yeah, okay. I'm not going to worry about that. 57 something. 57 and a half is what we're going to take. Right. Cool. Yeah, so fueling should be finished now. There we go. They're packing up. And then ground menu. Ah, baggage loading in progress, it says. Okay. So let's see. Did you have a chat with the fueler? Not today. Not today. I was too busy. Actually, well, the fueler was up here, so it's difficult to get to him. He was too high up. Ah, as expected. Look at that. So now we can have the cargo loading. Although, I mean, IRL, usually what happens is that loading will happen from the right-hand side, and then often aircraft have the option to fuel from both sides. Now, I'm not sure about the A350. It could be that only the right-hand side is used for fueling. So if it doesn't have a fueling coupling there... Yeah, probably. Yeah, so that's why, I guess, they wouldn't load when the aircraft is refueling. But that's just a wild guess. That is just a wild guess from my side. Yeah, exactly. It's hot outside, so the FO had to do the walk around, yeah. Exactly. So, then let's have a look at the load sheet. So we have... that. The fuel is there as well. Actually, let's just set the fuel. Well, it is set, isn't it? Yeah. Good. So 171.1 is our... zero fuel weight. How does temperature influence the aircraft performance? Well, in different ways. So it affects the engine performance, and it affects also then the aerodynamics, creating higher density altitudes and higher density altitudes for that. Exactly. Right, so I mean, we can try some calculations in a minute to check that. So we're going to take 171.1. The block fuel, 57.5. Taxi, 600 kilograms. CG for zero fuel weight is 29.2.
Hallo, werte Gäste.
Jesus Christ.
Sie heute im Namen Ihrer Kabinenbesatzung bei uns an Bord begrüßen zu dürfen.
That scared the hell out of
Nehmen Sie
me.
sich einen Moment Zeit, Ihre Handgepäckstücke in den Gepäckfächern über Ihnen oder unter Ihrem Vordersitz zu verstauen. Zu Ihrer eigenen Sicherheit sollten größere
So we have
Gegenstände
296
sicher im Gepäckfach verstaut
passengers.
werden. Sollten Sie Hilfe benötigen, dann steht Ihnen unser freundliches Kabinenpersonal gern zur Seite. Wir werden in Kürze unsere Parkposition verlassen, daher bitten wir Sie, so schnell wie möglich Ihren Sitzplatz einzunehmen und die Kabinengänge zu räumen. Im Namen der gesamten Crew wünschen wir Ihnen nun einen angenehmen Aufenthalt bei uns an Bord.
Takeoff performance. So let's oh, hang on. Sync FMS first of all. Munich, okay. 8 left. Let's sync the weather. 30 degrees. 223 tons takeoff weight. 223. Hang on, that's not right. It should be 229. Ah, is that because we haven't loaded all the cargo yet? Could be. Okay, so let's set that manually. So we're going to take a 229. 229. Air conditioning on, thrust flex, and then let's compute that. So with the current weather, it would give us a max takeoff weight performance of 311. So let me put this now to 10 degrees. So 311. Same. What's the flex? 52. Yeah, the flex probably will not change much. Yeah, 52. The thing is, it has to do with the fact that engines are flat rated to a certain temperature. So the thrust output remains pretty much the same as temperature outside increases until you get to that critical temperature, where from that point onwards, if it gets hotter than that, then the thrust will be slowly decreasing because of the fact that you have to reduce the fuel injection, so that you stay within the limits of your exhaust gas temperatures, and that way the thrust then decreases. I've made a huge video on that on my YouTube channel, which is actually so successful that it was actually being shown in real world classrooms in flight schools, which I find quite nice. Martin, I haven't noticed that, no. I have not even looked for that, to be honest. Well, Airbus, the thing is with VATSIM, honestly, because I'm gonna switch around a lot. So I'll be doing, you know, a lot of repositionings and so on to try out most or different scenarios. But what I wanted to do is just do one normal setup and just, you know, just one normal departure. And that way we'll do something. I'm going to ask you what we should do, etc., etc. So, and then we're going to land somewhere, right? And then maybe upon landing, yeah, we'll have some other emergency. Okay, cargo 88% completed. Okay, so now 229 takeoff weight. Yeah, 229 looks about right. So we're going to send those values to the FMS. So let's go to performance, confirm the speeds. So we have flaps 1, 30.5%. Stabilizer trim packs on, anti-ice off. Regarding the thrust reduction and acceleration, we're going to change that accordingly. So we have NADP 2 and engine out is just straight ahead, 080 degrees, acceleration in 3,000 feet. So I'm going to change that. Actually, no, 2490 is correct. That is fine. Yeah, thank you, MAN. I'm not sure where can you put engine out acceleration anywhere else? Ah, nice. Okay, I'm going to do that. Nice. Cargo doors are closing. Fantastic. Cool. All right, guys. So we're going to taxi out. We're going to taxi out. Pushback. Then we're going to go north. So Whiskey 2, Delta 6 to November 4. Then we're going to go left on November. And we're going to take... we are going to take... hold on. Alpha 1 or Alpha 2. Yeah, we'll take Alpha 1 or Alpha 2 for lineup. Lower right, there's an FMS for the engine out. Hold on. You mean flight plan? I'm blind. Transition. Oh, oh, God, I am blind. Lol. Okay. Yeah. Too many numbers. Thank you. Found it.
Yeah, that's how pros do it.
Yeah, like there's so many numbers. I was like, okay, no, hang on, where? Betriebsblind, as we say here. Hey, Fish Cup. It's 8 p.m. in Hamburg since I started PC temperature from... Well, yeah, my PC... I think my room temperature is around 29 degrees now, yeah. Probably somewhere in that region. Thanks, Amian. Oh, Ghost, thank you. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Not. Cool. So, is there a way that I could close the door here? No. Ah, hang on. Not this. Oh, that's interesting. So you can go outside check that way. Okay, interesting. I have to see Osprey. I haven't landed this yet with the latest version. So everything's now finished. We've done the calculations. Yeah, so taxi out was briefed. The departure route was the Gimme 6. Gimme 6 Quebec. Initial climb is going to be level 70. 70. And so, but there should be a overlay chart for this one. Where is it? There it is. Let's take this one. So we have straight ahead Delta Mike 070, then 1900 or above. No problem. Left Delta Mike 073, and then we go to Mike, NDB, and then to Give Me. Yeah, one thing we have to look out for is the 250 knots. Even if we're above 10,000 feet, that still applies unless ATC says otherwise. Astra, no, I'm not. We're going to do some scenarios, which will force us to land somewhere. Sector 3,700, and yeah, we have plenty of fuel. Bit of extra. So that is all done, all set, fantastic. Parking brake is on, that's fine. So chocks remove. What I like is, so there's some bad weather to the northwest. So we'll see how that pans out as we depart. Well, we can try regarding fuel dumping. We'll see. We'll see. Now, I've already checked that we do have some abnormal checklists. So there's some abnormal checklists that are not sensed. So smoke, fumes, EMA evacuation, emergency descent, unreliable airspeed, and then also jettison. So the checklist should be in there. All right, APU is running. Let's get some APU bleeder. Let's get the external power off. And then let's prepare pushback and departure. Let's close and yeah, door's locked. Let's close the doors. Door is locked. All right, slides are armed. Oh, okay, so let's do the first checklist then. Let's do the cockpit preparation checklist. Gear pins, covers removed. Fuel quantity, 57.5 tons. Bar ref 1017 set. And that's the cockpit preparation checklist complete. And let's do the before start items. Fuel pumps on. APU is on. Let's do the beacon on. Transponder. Surveillance on. Huh? So what services? Waiting for other services to complete. I hope it's not stuck again. All right, let me do the following. Let me just do the following. Let's... yeah. Let's restart. Right, that should work now. Okay, so let's then do the before start checklist. Park and brake is on. Takeoff speeds and thrust. 151, 153, 158, flex 52. Slides, armed. Nose wheel steering disconnect memo. Okay, that's missing. So that's coming now. Windwalkers.
Departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
Okay. So nose to steer disconnect memo is shown, and that's the before start checklist complete. Hey Avenger. Good evening. It is good evening. What do you mean? It's hot, yeah, but I mean, it's summertime, right?
Looking here.
It is what it is. You think you're melting. Welcome to the club. I can just check my room temperatures at the moment. Although I have to say, well, it's 30 degrees now. Lol. Doesn't feel that hot. I've got a fan running behind me, so I'm actually not too bad right now. No, I don't have air conditioning yet. Unfortunately not. Let's do facing north on Whiskey 2.
Release parking brakes.
Brakes released.
Commencing push. All engines.
How are you live?
Start engine.
It's pure willpower, Ghost. Pure willpower. All right, let's start engine 1. You were talking to my PC. Lol. Oh, Martin, it's only 26 here in Austria. Okay, cool. Good, engine is available, so let's start engine number 2. $34 in Hanover, yeah, like here we got still 33 outside. Now the last couple of days, it was nice at nighttime. It really cooled down. It was like 13 degrees at nighttime. But this night it'll be 20 only. And then tomorrow evening, we're going to get lots of thunderstorms. And temperatures will drop from 36 down to 22.
Please set parking brakes.
Brake set.
Waiting your confirmation for a good engine start.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Okay, let's do the after start flow. Flaps 1. The spoilers. Back to norm. Flight control check.
Unlocking
Full up. Full down. Neutral. Full left. Full right, takes a long time. Neutral, bit of droop, aileron droop there, nice, and the rudder full left,
tow truck
full right,
bypass inlet.
and the trim automatically set for 30.6%, nice.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
Yeah, that's the thing with thunderstorms. They can be, and it looks to me like MAN with such a drastic temperature drop. I have a feeling that it's going to get some, it's going to cause some issues. Thank you much, all clear. Then let's do the after start checklist. Anti-ice off, flight controls checked, ground clearance received, after start checklist complete. Just going to wait for her to clear, and then we'll switch on some lights. Nose taxi light on. And then let's go. Yeah, I'll keep my fingers crossed, thank you. So, weather PWS is off. Okay, we'll do that on in a minute. Let's do a brake check. Yeah, brakes are working. Surveillance. Auto. Cool. Alrighty. Gonna take performance here. I'm gonna put flight plan on this side.
Einen wunderschönen guten Tag aus dem Cockpit, meine sehr verehrten Damen und Herren. Hier spricht Ihr heutiger Kapitän. Im Namen der gesamten Besatzung heiße ich Sie recht herzlich willkommen.
During taxi. Test.
Wir stehen soweit kurz vor dem Abflug und das Wetter auf der Strecke sieht im Allgemeinen recht ruhig aus. Möglicherweise gibt es vereinzelt leichte Turbulenzen, sodass wir im Großen und Ganzen einen sehr angenehmen Flug für Sie erwarten können. Wir werden Sie natürlich während des gesamten Fluges mit weiteren Informationen auf dem Laufenden halten. In der Zwischenzeit können Sie sich gerne zurücklehnen und etwas entspannen. Genießen Sie die tolle Unterhaltung und vor allem unseren hervorragenden Service am Bord. Vielen Dank, dass Sie sich heute für einen Flug mit unserer Airline entschieden haben.
Shortcut approved. November 4. Right now, performance is nice. Nice, smooth FPS. Let's hope it stays that way. It's hot in Flensburg as well. Yeah. The thing is, though, I mean, we've had hot summers in Germany in the past, but I guess it's just becoming more and more frequent. Right, good go. Oh, Fishkop, thank you so much. My God.
Autopilot.
Fishkop!
Autopilot.
That is, again, a 20 euro donation. That's really generous, Fishkop. Vielen Dank. First installment for the air conditioner. Nice. Okay, I'll put that down to that. Thank you so much. It'll go into a piggy bank for the air conditioning. I appreciate it. Yeah, so the thinking behind me getting a yeah, Emian, thank you for the reminder. So the idea regarding waiting with the installation until next year is because obviously once I've retired, I will stream regularly, and then also next summertime it'll be regular streams, and then yeah, for sure, definitely worth getting air conditioning for my room. The weird thing is, so our house is actually very well insulated, so the lower part of the house is actually very cool. But as you would expect, warm air rises, so that all the warm air comes up, and I have my room, so my office room, in the, is it called attic? So below the roof, and yeah, then it gets hot, and of course PC, etc., doing its thing. Hey Paul, Flying Paul, Grüße. What are you doing in Braunschweig? Do you live there, or are you currently just visiting? Yeah, Paul, you're not the only one. So people that suffer, let's say, from migraines, you know, or very kind of weather sensitive, these changes, big, fast changes, are quite drastic for them, yeah. Captain Chaos, who went with Bosch air conditioning. I have to check. I've got to get some offers for that. Hey, Dennis. Have you ever witnessed a shortcut being approved just across the apron? Yes. Here in Munich. Munich many times. Yeah. Oh no. Oh, Paul, you're writing. Is that ATPL? Oh my God. Today must have been horrendous. Do they have air conditioning at least at the Luftfahrtbundesamt? I hope so. Fishbone, well, we're not going to get there. Spoiler alert. We're going to try out some scenarios. So initially, I just wanted to try out to see how the aircraft is actually performing. You know, FPS, see how it works with all the setup. Very happy up to this point, have to say. So everything's running very nicely, very smoothly. Good, let's do the taxi checklist. So flap setting, config 1+F, radar is on. And then we have auto brake, RTO. Oh, cabin ready. Hang on, how do I get cabin ready? Ah, there we go, cabin ready. And then config test performed. And that's the taxi checklist complete. Let's line up.
Hallo Captain, die Kabine ist gesichert und bereit zum Abflug.
Oh, dankeschön. Then we'll go again on that. So no changes to the departure route up 70 in case of engine failure, straight out runway track, acceleration 3,000 feet. And then we'll do a cabin crew prepare for departure, lineup checklist, cabin is secured, takeoff runway is confirmed, 8 left, packs 1 and 2 remain on as calculated, and that's the lineup checklist complete. So Paul, it was cool everywhere. Okay, that's nice. That's good to hear. Yeah, that's cool. So you could keep a cool head, even though you had your exams. Right. Let's see. How's that lineup? Hang on. Let me just check. Just want to see. Nah. Ay. Bit too much on overshoot. Okay. Guys, I'm trying to not to force a OBS streaming software crash, so I'm not going to show the joystick cam. I think so. Okay, cool. Takeoff. Manflex 52 SAS runway auto thrust blow. Thrust set. $100 knots.
V1.
Rotate. All right. Gear up. Thrust, D-rate climb, out blue, 7,000. So climb performance seems much more tamed now. Wasn't that the same here in the A350, that the initial climb performance was like crazy high? So now actually it does feel heavy. You can see the...
Hallo Captain, die Kabine ist bereit und für die Landung gesichert.
Dankeschön. We're not landing just yet. Hey, Kilos, guys. Careful with the bank angle. Gears up, I hope. Yeah. Alright, flap 0. Speed check, flap 0. Disarm the spoilers. Roll seems still very kind of pretty sensitive, but again apparently the real aircraft is also somewhat sensitive. This is actually something I would expect. Heavy aircraft in the acceleration phase, climb rate about 5 feet per minute. Yeah, that looks about right. Yeah, the flight attendant already knows what's coming. Yeah, probably. Right, let's increase the range a bit. See if we can pick up some weather radar echoes. And Kilos, guys, wie geht's dir? Any news? Any prospects? Keeping all my fingers crossed. Autopilot. That was nice. That was good. Nice departure. Rotation, I didn't really pull too hard. I think, you know, it rotated quite nicely. My flying is so bad they thought I was landing. Probably, yeah. Hey, Bits Gute. Let's go with standard. Set altimeters, standard. Cool. Yeah, so there should be some thunderstorms on our routing near Nuremberg. Let's do airports. So Ingolstadt. Yeah, near here should be some thunderstorms. I'm going to continue climb here. Let's go initially, was it 350 or so? Let's do 330 initially, or 340. 340. So, let's do progress. Hang on, where's my... Oh, there we go. So, optimum is 380 already. All right, we'll go 380 then. 380. 380 blue. Oh, Kilo Skies, I'm so sorry to hear that, man. I mean, that's, you know, honestly, Kilo Skies, that's a crime. That is just, for a company to treat people like that, it's just a crime. Makes me really, it makes me really angry. Martin, no, we're not going to get to JFK. No. So what I'm going to show you though is I'm going to go show the flight ops, the situations menu. So right now the only thing we could activate is the bird strike and the dual engine failure. Now obviously it doesn't really make sense to have a depressurization situation available right now because we're only at 10,000 feet, right? It doesn't make sense. So this comes on, I don't know, 15,000, 20,000 feet or something. And then later, once we, I think above 30,000 feet, then we'll have these scenarios available. Yeah, Kilo Skies, I understand. Oh, man. Cool. All right, so we are 10,000. Now, since we are expecting some thunderstorms in the area, I'm going to leave the... That should be on. Oh, that's not go off now. Leave the seatbelts on. Strobes are on. And then we'll do nav aids. There we go. Cool. And then secondary. Yeah, not worry about secondary. Let's do that. Cool. Hey Ryan, good question. What announcement did you find most exciting from FS Expo? Let me think about that. It's one of the worst announcements, I can tell you that, Ryan. One of the most disappointing announcements for me was hearing that next year's FS Expo will be held in Minneapolis. Why Minneapolis is beyond me. Sorry for anybody that lives in Minneapolis, but I've been to Minneapolis many times now over the last 2 years, and it's a nice clean city, don't get me wrong, but I honestly don't know, you know, the surroundings. You know, there is obviously some cities that have many more options, like Los Angeles, San Francisco, right? Yeah, Minneapolis. I mean, even, you know, actually Seattle wasn't already, yeah, Seattle, they were already in Seattle, correct? But surely there's some other cool places apart from Minneapolis, right? I mean, okay. But anyways, the exciting announcements really that I found were with the hardware. Yeah, but I mean, Airbus, it doesn't have to be inside of LA, right? You could have that in, like, I don't know, maybe somewhere, you know, Oakland, or what about Palm Springs or something? Palm Springs would be cool. So many other, you know, interesting places, right? I'm a bit disappointed that Microsoft doesn't really simulate these thunderstorms, because they should be there. Yeah, it's an example, right? Palm Springs Air Museum. St. Martin. Well, I mean, someone's joking about Bahamas and that sort of stuff, but I mean, yeah, that's true, Fish Cop. Yeah. If these climate changes, yeah, Key West, you name it, MAN. There's so many places where you could do that. But anyways, yeah, but hardware, that's something I'm excited about. Software, now let's think about software. Were there any bigger announcements with software? So the only thing really, X-Plane 12 is getting weather radar implementation very soon. So the new weather radar. Well, I mean, Giftzwerg, are you being serious? The toll, I don't know, it doesn't really excite me, to be honest. I honestly, I'd rather be, you know, keep my expectations low regarding Tolus and Aerosoft and then be totally surprised in a positive way. But for me, Aerosoft just have done so bad with their A330 add-on. Yeah, okay, so they did kind of hint at the iniBuilds A340, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's something maybe to look forward to, yeah, for sure. Yeah. And you know, I think they've learned their lesson regarding the way they release an add-on. So you know, iniBuilds will mature for sure as well, so probably, yeah, we could look forward to a good add-on from them. The A350, I don't want to jinx it, but the A350 right now is enjoyable. So the whole thing with the preparation stuff and the departure here, that was great. Really nice. And I mean, here the cabin layout. I mean, this is the old business class. Well, who knows? Maybe they're going to get the Allegris cabin layout soon. Yeah, Wasm was always listening. Well, apparently they fixed some stuff, so it's supposed to have been become much more stable now, because they said that they've removed that the combus. So the combus system responsible for passing information between different systems. So they've removed that, and then now they're doing a direct data read from the source files. So apparently now this this improves overall stability, and so who knows? Maybe that's correct, right? Oh yeah, true. Yeah, Nico, you're correct. The VFAR chart implementation in Navigraph charts is good. That sounds promising. Yeah. Till, are you really? I'm not sure. Yeah, so right now you see this. Now we've got the depressurization scenario available as well. Yeah, so the idea is as following. Passing 30,000 feet, we should be able to get the unruly passenger situation. And that's what we are going to activate. Now, I did try that out earlier today, and at least the sound part works. The problem was I couldn't find that passenger being restrained. You know, there's a picture available. Let me just show you. So here, so this is the restraint passenger, and then here we have that medical emergency. You see that passenger being wearing a oxygen mask. Now I couldn't find that. I heard something which we'll showcase in a few minutes, but I didn't find the passenger. Now I'm just wondering if either it's not implemented yet visually, or it has to do with the cabin textures. But we'll see. Which is the best joystick for Airbus? You mean Jehu? You mean including the base or just the stick itself? No. So, okay. So let me talk about unruly passengers first of all. Okay. So I'm not going to go into the absolute safety aspects and details regarding how we are trained, but what I can tell you that is that the cabin and cockpit crew, they are trained properly to deal with unruly passengers in the air. Okay, so imagine that on the ground, right, you always have an authority responsible for keeping order. Usually that's the police. Okay, so when you have someone unruly on the ground, in the aircraft, the doors are open, you will call the police. The police will come into the aircraft and take care of the situation. Now, what happens when the doors are closed? Who's then the authority? The captain, exactly. Yeah, the pilot. Well, yeah, actually, you are correct, Paul. That's a better wording, the pilot in command. Although there is a bit of a difference here. So me as the captain. Well, let me ask you this then suddenly. Okay, so let's say we have 2 police officers on board that are on duty because they are accompanying someone that has to leave the country. Who is the authority? We have 2 official police officers on board. Who has the final authority? Let's say the police authority. Yeah, Mozart Kugel many times. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it is still the captain. It's still the captain that has the let's say the police authority. Okay, so when you have a unruly passenger situation, obviously there's certain levels. Okay, and so let's say, give me an example. A passenger verbally insults one of my flight attendants. Would it be okay for me to tell my purser to get out the handcuffs and restrain the passenger? Would that be legal? Yes, exactly. It would be excessive force. Now, if I ordered that, the flight attendant or the purser would probably say, "Are you sure about that?" You know, don't you think it's a bit too much? But in the end, if I say, restrain that passenger, they would do it. But then, me as the captain, I could get sued for that. Exactly. It's out of proportionality. Verhältnismäßigkeit. Exactly that. So whatever actions I order, it has to be in proportionality to the situation. Okay. And so for a passenger to be tied up, so restrained, that passenger really has to be quite a nuisance, to put it this way. Okay. And without going into too many details, the restraint action also has to be performed in an exact way. So you cannot do certain things with a passenger, restrain that passenger in a certain way, because potentially then you would really risk their health, right? So again, everything has to be in proportionality, right? It has to be in a certain way. But yes, the ultimate action would be to order a restraint. Now, have I ever needed to order a restraint? No, luckily not. Have I ordered police? Yes, I have. I have ordered police to the aircraft. So it's a lot of paperwork. I can tell you that. A lot of paperwork involved when doing that. But you know, you do what you have to do. Now, another thing, me as a captain, where I have to be careful with, is when I decide with my first officers and maybe the company, if I decide to land somewhere to have that person removed from board, there are different countries that have different laws and different rules and different ways of dealing with unruly passengers. Now, the United Kingdom has actually very strict rules, right?
Pull up.
Hey, so what's up? Pull up. Thanks so much. As always, thank you for 63 months. Nice to see you. So, if I land, let's say, in Ireland, that passenger will be offloaded and treated differently than in the UK, because they have different laws in place. All right, so that's something obviously, you know, you have to consider as well. Okay. But in the end, it always depends on the situation. If the situation is somewhat out of control, then you would, of course, land at the nearest suitable airport, right, to get support from the ground. Regarding Sky Marshals, yeah, I can't say anything about Sky Marshals because that's totally, it's a secret, right? So I'm not going to talk about Sky Marshals. I'm not going to say anything about that. Elias says, you're wondering how you would tie someone up. I mean, it's someone who's fit and fights back. Well, Elias, that's why we are trained. And I can tell you that the situations that I've heard from, that training is very good. And so those restraints have been very successful. All right. Elias, we would usually not have other passengers involved if we can avoid it. The reason is that other passengers, they may overreact because they're not trained or trained in a different manner. And then that way you could worsen the situation. Hey, Nick, thank you so much for the 96 months. Nick, happy birthday. Well, I know it's not your birthday today, but it was two or 3 days ago, Nick. So again, belated happy birthday wishes to you. I hope you had a great celebration. So just passing 28,500 feet now. Just going to watch the time when we are going to get these active or available. Is it really? You're already 30. Oh, yeah, you've been studying a long time. Jeez, you're getting old, Nick. The big 30. GG's. Right, let's have a look. 29,000 feet. No, so Martin, we pilots are not allowed to intervene physically, so we have to keep the doors locked, of course, during the flight. And so it's all the cabin crew that has to deal with it. Well, the reason why we pilots get the training as well is because it could happen on the ground with the doors open. And then, of course, I would intervene, yeah. I would help where I can. So 30,000 feet. Okay, let's see. So the moment that we get this this active, I'll start it. Because it's funny. I hope that's visually visible as well, because like I said this afternoon, it wasn't, and maybe they haven't implemented it completely yet. So there we go, 30,000 feet, and bam, look, now it's available. So let's do that. Let's go start that. Hello, hello.
Captain, we have a passenger refusing to follow crew instructions and is becoming disruptive.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, keep me informed.
Right. You hear that? I can hear the screams. Not those screams. And the problem is, it's not, I just do not know where the passenger's sitting. But it's quieter here, it's louder here. You've got to be kidding me. It's a ghost. It's getting louder. Yeah, so visually, again, I can't see him visually. That's haunting. So right now, all we can do is wait and see how the situation develops in the cabin. And we would maybe already have a quick look at some airport weather around us. All right, there you go, some more info.
Captain, the passenger is now verbally aggressive. Crew are preparing restraints.
Okay.
Understood. We'll notify authorities to meet us on arrival.
Well, of course, first of all, you know, they would ask for permission to go and restrain, and then I would have to allow it or not allow it, whatever the situation asks for. And so, I don't know. In the past, at least what I've heard, if you say to ATC that you have a unruly passenger situation, weren't there some cases where the country, whatever they're flying in, actually sent up some fighters? As an escort? So let's have a look where we are. We've got Cologne, we have Frankfurt below us. So at least we do have some options. So let's go. And potentially, of course, we could go back to Munich as well, right? Let's take Cologne as well. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what fighters would help, but that's at least what I've noticed in some instances. Yeah, so maybe they will treat that, you know, according to a certain protocol. So the thing is, if you have a kind of a passenger that is restrained, it's very unlikely that the cabin crew at some point would decide to loosen up those or free that person again. So really, you don't really have that many options, right? So you would try to land as soon as possible. Now, there are obviously some routings somewhere, let's say over the Atlantic or over Africa, where you just don't have airports around you to land as soon as possible, right? So it could potentially go, 2, 3, 4 hours before you reach an airport where you could land at. So let's have a look. Frankfurt, we have 07s in use, Cologne. Well, let's say that we talk to ATC, we talk to well, let's first of all say ATC, we're going to stop climb 360, and then let's say the company says the best operational aspect or best operational solution would be to land in Frankfurt. Then we would prepare a diversion to Frankfurt. And now the question is, what's the max landing weight? Let me just have a look at the OFP. I don't know what max landing weight here on the A350 is. So the max allowable landing weight is 207. So we're still above that. So that means the question now is fuel dumping, yes or no? I'll put that up to you guys. Fuel dumping, yes or no? Yeah, so let me give you some more information then. All right, so let's say, yeah, the situation is under control. The passenger is restrained. He's complaining, but oh yeah, and of course. So guys, okay, so this is a no-go. You can't put tape over someone's mouth. That is just a no-go, right? Sure, I mean, if the passenger is screaming and shouting, it's something you will have to accept, but you cannot, and I'm a bit shocked now that I'm seeing this. I'm actually shocked that they put it in that way, because again, that's a no-go. Right? I mean, that passenger still has rights. Right, there's human rights, and you can't do that. The A350 has what? Hang on, I saw a fuel dump, a fuel jettison checklist. You're right, it doesn't. So the iniBuilds, A350-900 doesn't have fuel jettison. Lol. Okay, there we go. So that question has solved itself. Good. Let's quickly then descend. So let's descend initially level 150. So we're going to take that with some speed brakes. So we have open descend. Out blue 150. Let's ask for radar vectors. Let's go heading south initially. It is runway 07 in use. Oh, really? Ah, hang on. There's options. Hold on. Okay, so yeah, but again, I think you know what? The options. I think that's again. I guess that's dependent on deliveries, correct? Ah, here. There it is, on external. So if you jettison, it's managed by livery. So yeah, you don't have the option here. Okay, cool. That explains it. Thank you very much. Alrighty, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and find out alternate. Can we do that? Let's have a look. So the good old way. Let's take this waypoint here. New destination. So cabin would be told to prepare the cabin for landing in Frankfurt in about 15 to 20 minutes. Gonna ask for runway 7 right. Oops, 7 right. It'll be an ILS approach. 7 right. Let's do it this way. Insert. So there we go. That's a good heading actually, towards runway 7 right. So then we can enter the weather here. Yes, so to answer the question, if we did have a technical possibility to dump fuel or to jettison fuel, we would do that. The thing is that we would, you know, it doesn't take that long. 20 tons, I think about 10 minutes. You know, that would be dumped in 10 maximum 15 minutes. And, you know, in that situation, if it's under control, I would dump the fuel just to have the aircraft dispatchable. Because if you land now with an overweight situation, maintenance will have to do an overweight landing check. And that will cause further delays, etc., etc. So really the option would be to land. I would have to check with my cabin crew if they would still be able to continue duty, or if they'd say, you know, they're somewhat shocked and you know, somewhat or that they just want to or not continue that duty, maybe to see if they have an effect with, you know, stress-induced stress, whatever, and then you know. But Frankfurt, maybe Frankfurt would have a standby crew available, etc., etc. So all these things would have to be considered. And but the possibility then to quickly have the aircraft refueled and then redispatched can be done much, much quicker if you don't do an overweight landing. So that's something I would consider. Cool. So let me activate the approach already. And so we're going to enter the wind, which is... oh, hang on. Hold on. There we go. So the wind is 020 at 9. Temperature is 35. Blimey, that's hot. 35, 1014. Minimums. So let me go do that. Search. Then we'll just do approach, ILS 7 right. There we go. RMP. There we go, ILS 7 right. So the minimum is 530. Transition today is 60. Oops. We'll do a config 3 landing. Although we are heavy, right? Well, let's see performance. I think it will probably be okay with so Frankfurt, sync the weather. Yeah. Landing weight 221. Let's do 220, 222.8. We'll take 5 knots extra. Manual landing. Oh. Right. Yeah, so with this, if we use, well, let's do brake medium. So medium would be 2,200 factored. So yeah, that's fine. So here's Alt Star. Let's continue our descent down to 70. And then let's turn towards the field. 30 miles, actually. Let's do Ratnav, Fox Mike. Oh, actually, yeah, let's do Fox Mike. Give us a raw destination distance here. Hello to Dr. Zap. Yeah, we've got a restrained passenger that we have to get off. Good. That's done. Landing. Now, regarding the landing, we're just going to do manual braking. I'm not going to mess about with brake to vacate right now. Although I guess I could. I could see how quickly I can get it set up. Airport selection, Frankfurt. Landing, map data. Let's have a look. So airport select, I did. Landing. So I don't know, 2,500 or something. Oh, plan. There we go. Thanks. Hey, Bruno. It was plan mode. Yeah. MAN, that's a very good point. Very good point. Yeah, normally... Oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oof, that was a long freeze. Blimey. That's because of the airport map, isn't it? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so you are correct, MAN. You would definitely have a look at the... Okay, brake to vacate is armed at Mike 9er. Fantastic. Thank you, guys. So then we're just going to do a level off at 70. And then let's read a overweight landing checklist. Let's see if we'll find that here. So I don't see it here. Fuel leak. Let's check. Ah, there we go. Overweight landing. Let's try that. Activate. Yes. There we go. So landing distance affected. Well, I mean, yeah, but well, I mean, we've checked it. The runway's long enough. Now, how do I tick this off? Now, last time I tried this. Oh, there we go. Landing distance affected. For approach, pack 1 and 2 off or on APU bleed. Okay, let's start the APU. So the controller would ask, are you ready for the approach? Would say, nah, give us another 5 minutes. I'd say, okay, delay vectors. Left turn, heading 180. Alt star. Okay, so if landing config 3, use config 1 for go around. So we'll use config 3 for landing to have better climb-up performance in case of an engine failure. And then the speed at the threshold should be VLS. Debatable. Well, pitch will be higher. If you have enough landing distance... Oh, actually, you know what? Let me just have a look. So the option, let me just see if I can... Can I redo that checklist? No, so the thing is, I think what it means is if landing distance is enough, then you would probably activate, you would probably say no. I think that's what it means. Press clear. Clear, clear, clear. Okay, clear. All right, abnormal, overweight, activate, yes. Ah, no, it's not clearing. Anyways, so what we're going to do, we'll do that, okay? So we're going to use, just for practice. So I'm going to take APU bleed. That means if we go now to the system page, if we go to bleed, we can now see that the engine bleeds are shut off, and now the APU supplying the pack system. So that is done. So pack, I've done that. So why is it not ticking that off? Is it me, or is it? Do I have a feeling that these checklists are not really working 100% yet, or what am I doing wrong? So I'm trying to tick that off. It's highlighted, so why can't I? It's non-sensed. Yeah, but if it's non-sensed, then you should be able to put a tick mark to that, right? But anyways, okay, so for landing, increase flare height, okay, use max reverse as soon as possible, okay, and then apply brakes as necessary, okay. All right, that's the overweight landing list. Good. So for the briefing, real quickly, we'll fly the ILS approach. 07 right out of 5,000 feet. Sorry, 4,000 feet, so let's send 4,000 here. 3-degree profile, minimum 530, missed approach, according to the waypoints to Foxtrot Kilo Sierra, climbing 5,000, and missed approach. Required landing distance is 2,000. 200 meters. We have 4,000 available, so it's not critical. It's an overweight landing. So we have to increase the flare height, make sure we don't have a hard landing. But yeah, like we said, we have enough flare distance or distance to flare. And in case of missed approach, since we are doing overweight, we're going to go from config 3 directly to config 1. I think that pretty much covers it. So let's go now direct to this waypoint. Nav 109.5 is set. So now what I want to do is just to spice things up. It's 1,000 feet. Vertical speed. Oh no. Bad day today. Blimey. I'm going to put lever MCT. So engine 2 fail. Yeah. Spooling down. Doesn't look good. Land ANSA in amber. Thrust lever 2 idle. Confirm. Number 2 confirmed. Idle. Engine 2 master off. Confirm. Number 2 confirmed. Off. Is engine damaged? Let's have a look. We have no rotation. THR, minimal rotation N1. N2 is also spooling down. Yeah, I would say it's probably frozen. Let's say it's damaged. So let's go damaged, yes. Ah, okay, so that's what he meant. So the cyan color here as well means it's self-sensed. So engine 2... Jesus Christ. What? What was that? Blimey. So engine 2 confirm. Confirmed. Self-sense after 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. Engine 2... So engine 2, agent 1 discharge. And as 10 elapsed, 10 seconds, or usually that would count down itself, right? Yeah. Pure chaos in the cabin. All right, there we go. Script number 2. I'm surprised, though. I'm surprised that without a fire, you would actually have the fire extinguisher. Okay. Right, so that's then the procedure engine to fail completed. So now systems, yeah, no more bleed air available, but doesn't matter because we have APU bleed already. Wing anti-ice is off. Avoid icing conditions. Roger. And then we have shutdown, fuel imbalance monitor. We'll do that. Forgo and thrust, toga only. Okay, and landing distance affected. Well, we checked everything. Is fine. So ELEC, well, Gen 2B, Gen 2A offline, but APU generator has taken on. That looks fine. And bleed, yeah, we talked about the bleed. APU bleed is on. Hydraulics. Well, there's a problem with the fire extinguisher powder. That can really damage the engine. So normally, if there's no fire, at least on the Airbus 320 that was, you would not discharge a fire extinguisher into the engine, because that causes a lot more harm. So we have It looks like some, yeah, power transfer from engine 1, like a PTU. So we have both green and yellow system powered. All good. Then limitations. All phases. APU bleed do not use. LOL. Alright, well we're down here already at 4,000, so cover your ears. Right, here comes flaps 1, speed is checked, flaps 1, speed managed. Avoid icing conditions, roger. We have land and amber, APU vape seatbelts on. Okay, deferred procedure, landing gear gravity extension, what? Would you do that because of the hydraulic situation? Again, I'm not rated on A350, but that seems weird. And then in-up systems. Oh, brake to vacate is now brake medium. Okay. The soft go around is. Lol. Soft go around is deactivated. Okay. Hey, welcome. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but welcome. Yeah, right. I mean, we could try that. So let's do approach armed. We have Catch Redual, Autopilot 1+2, Glide Slope Localizer armed. Lock Star. Glide Slope is alive. No, well, no, I've never had engine fire IRL. No, thank God for that. No. That would be very... Well, we're trained for that, but still, I wouldn't really want that. Cool. Okay, so we've done that now. We're going to try to lower the landing gear normally. So we'll try that now. Yeah, 3 greens, so not sure why that would be the case. Why they would say use water gear extension. And I don't have an FCOM. Right, flaps 2, speed check, flaps 2. Ah, okay, so it's a bug. Okay, so gravity extension is a bug that crept up on the latest build. Ah, okay. The same thing though with the fire extinguishers. If it's just a damage, not a fire. Okay, 4,000, 13 miles, looks good. On the INS. Glide slope star, flaps 3, final setting. Let's arm the spoilers. Spoilers armed. Wow, the thing's all over the place, yawing. Okay. So let's do the normal checklist quickly. Approach checklist, Barber Ref 1014 set. Minimum bar 530 feet. Runway condition dry. Auto brake is medium. Approach checklist complete. Then we got the landing checklist. Landing checklist complete. Landing flight. Let's see how the aircraft behaves. Manual thrust. Go. Right, now we're getting a call from the cabin. They're now saying, oh, we have lots of smoke in the aft section of the aircraft. So I would tell them, well, then mentally prepare for potential evacuation, but await commands. Now with the engine failure, we already Mayday, so we got the fire brigade at the runway. Yeah, it's just windmilling. Nice. Okay. Flying very nicely, I have to say, even single engine. And you can see the aircraft is trimming the rudder automatically. Oh, cabin. Right, cabin's ready. Where's my flight control page? Yep, so rudder left 3.6 degrees. So it is trimming automatically, which is nice. Keeping everything nicely balanced. Very good. Oh, it's even here. Yeah, you're right. But that's hard to see. It doesn't say 3 left 3.6 or something. Yeah, you could kind of see it's a little bit left of center. Yeah, true. Yes, Flurkle, I would imagine. I mean, the 787 can do an autoland as well, single engine. The only thing it's not supposed to do is overweight automatic landing. But it's technically capable of doing that as well. Okay, so if the rudder trim indication here comes up, it means it's not centered. Okay, cool. One thing I don't like is, again, the aircraft feels
500.
Too light at the moment.
400.
I mean, we've got an overweight condition, and the aircraft, the way it bobs around is it doesn't feel like it's very heavy.
100 above. 200.
Yeah, it's very light on the controls as well.
Minimum.
Continue. Oh, Gilend.
100, 90, 80, 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20, retard, 10, retard, 5.
Now that's oh, there's still some stutters, man. Right, so we're going to take... thanks for that. Reverse. We've got spoilers. Oh, we've got a taxi. Man. These things sometimes. Right, let's stop on the runway here. Manual brakes. Auto brake is off. Let's come to a stop. So let's do that. Now, I'm going to say attention crew on station. Attention crew on station. So apart from that, we don't have any fire indication here in the flight deck, but if the cabin says lots of smoke in the back, hard to breathe, then of course we would consider the evacuation procedure. So let's have a look here. Now, usually that's a paper checklist. Now I don't have one here available, so we can take this one here. So evac. So when aircraft stop, parking brake on. It's on. ATC notified. Okay. Notified. So mayday, mayday, mayday. We need fire assistance immediately. Cabin crew is alerted with the attention crew on station. Pack 1, pack 2 off. Self-sensed. And then all engine masters off now. This is the thing. I'm not sure. Does that work? Does the thing work here yet? Right. And let's do that. Off. Of course, normally we'd switch off the engines first, of course, before. Then we would do that. 2 engines already set. So all engines and APU as required. And then evacuation required, yes or no? Well, yes. So passenger evacuation, passenger evacuation. Ah, it's not working. So they haven't implemented that yet. So let me do it this way, ground. So the doors are armed. I'm going to open all the doors. And there we go. That's the slides opening. Come on. Is that broken or what? Come on. Do it. Okay, that's blocked. That's not available. All right, there we go. Oh, hang on. Why does that... Oh, that was disarmed. All right, those will not be usable either. Come on. No, that's somehow broken. All right, anyways. There you go. Look at that. Oh, they even have lighting on that. Lol. Well, that's actually pretty neat. Nice, nice texturing. Yeah, I think I have a button binding somewhere. I need to find that. Why the taxi helper comes on sometimes. Yeah. So that's not bad. Let's have a look at what it looks like at night time. Let's have a look here. Let's have a look here. Over panel. So let me just have a look. I would have expected these the lights to come on here, right? Because normally at nighttime you would have lights come on to illuminate the slides. Yeah, yeah, I would assume so. Yeah, I would assume they have their own batteries for that. Yeah, probably not simulated. Probably not. Yeah. Cool. Right. Now we did have a bit of a stuttering again on landing, which is annoying. I don't know if it's really the problem with Microsoft 2024. But what I would try now, somebody was saying that I should try to deactivate the Microsoft loading of the a VRAM issue. Are you sure? Because I mean, honestly, I've dialed down settings and I have 24 gigabyte of VRAM. No, so only 11.4. Just half of the VRAM. I honestly don't think it should be VRAM. There's something else. Something else is loading in as we get into the flare. That's my. You just got the AMD 9950, but it don't work. What, CPU 100% and crashed? Do you have any setup? Well, make sure you have all the drivers up to date, first of all. BIOS up to date. Graphics driver up to date. Okay, so I mean like with the latest update, it could be Yeah, could be some update here with the sim as well. Yeah. Cool. Now let me do one more thing. I just want to try something here. Let me go into the main menu. I'll do one more test here before we go onto the FS Labs flight. So yeah, we'll try that. So what we do, I'm going to try that right now. So maybe that is a good solution. So let me just trying to find that file. So somebody was saying this one here. So oh, hang on, that's not it. Where was that date? Oh, there we go. Here it is. It's in the Asobo services, airport services, rename services. Okay, let me see if that works, and then we'll reload the sim as well. I'm gonna try. So that is under. It's under. Asobo. Okay, so where would I find that? Asobo. Airport services. Airport. Yeah, I'm just trying to find it, Mustafa. Airport services. Airport services. And it must be somewhere in the main... Oh, there we go. No, but that's for the... For certain airports. Hold on. For example, Aerosoft airports, Gaia simulations. Anyone got a better idea? But Asobo services. Okay. Asobo services. The main installer. Poor. Now I have the Steam version. Microsoft Limitless. Yeah, it's always a problem. Trying to quickly find these files. If anybody has a... Yeah, the question is main installer. Now I have the Steam version. I'm not sure. So if I go to the folder... Because it's like, it could be in local. Yeah, hang on, let me permit you. Or maybe one of my mods could permit Acer. Ah, there we go, error says. Microsoft Flight Simulator packages, official Steam.
Hello, Black.
Hey, Lee, good evening. Yeah, we're searching for the Asobo file regarding airport services. So, Microsoft Flight Simulator. Hey, V Chris. Yeah, I've done V Chris. That I have done. That has been set correctly all along. But that's not the thing. So now looking for the Asobo services. No, okay, so Mustafa says in 2024 it's streamed, so he can't. It's in 2020 where he could do that. Yeah. Thanks, Tiago, as well. Right. So people saying that for the... yeah, it is streamed. That's why you can't access it. That's incorrect, really? So hang on. Let me just... hold on. Okay, so let me try that. If permit pacer ID. Okay, Acer, you can try it and post the link now. Happy to search for it. Go ahead. Thank you much, Acer. Okay, so official Steam. Packages installation. Ah, okay. Hold on. Official 24, Steam. Yeah. Oh, this folder's empty. Lol. So packages, official Steam. Yeah, it was there. I'm doing the same. So I'm using it at 60%, 50%. Yeah, 60 FPS. I am limiting as well. And again, the stutters have only appeared a couple of days ago. Ah, okay, so Steam. Hold on. Thank you, guys. Let me try that again. Steam. So Steam apps. So here we go. Steam apps. Yes, I got Steam apps. Okay, we're getting closer. Common, and there. Limitless. Is it limitless there? Hang on. Limitless. No. Hang on. Yeah, so after common, I've got common. I've got it. So here we are. So common. So then Steam apps common. Where now? Yeah, we're looking for the Asobo services. Hang on. Asobo. We're getting there. We're getting there. Asobo services. We are getting there. Hey, we found it. So, and this one here, right? So rename that to, I don't know. So, yeah, bingo. Thank you, guys. Okay, so off services. Okay, then let me restart the sim here to make sure. Right, let's see if that works. Oh, dot off as well. Okay, so we'll do that. Dot off. Yeah, we don't want to crash the whole sim, do we? Okay, so that. Oh, darn. So that to off. Okay. Yeah. Cool. All right, let's see if that works. Yeah, Arrow, no worries, no worries. Arrow, thanks for all the help, and everyone else, thanks for all the help. Because I'm really desperate now to see if that fixes the issue. Hey, you're deleting NVIDIA app and install latest DLS profile fixer. Yeah, it's one of those things. It's one of those bigger things you're in, because I don't know if I want to go down that path just yet. Because I have a feeling that it's one of the latest updates with Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. And then hopefully they get that fixed. Yeah, Astor, apparently it is, because what it's doing is as you get close to the terminal on landing, then in the background, these certain services are being loaded in, causing these stutterers. That's a theory, at least. Yeah. Right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take off. What else can we do? What kind of failure can we do? HT. I mean, I have the Steam version, right? So that's the problem. You may have a different version. So I have the Steam Microsoft version, and then there, and if you just look at the video on demand, just go back again to see. Yeah, I always do that. Whenever I update the drivers, I update I clear the cache. Yes. Well, the thing is, dual engine failure just takes a long time to get up to altitude. And I do want to go back and fly it's almost 10 o'clock, so I want to do another flight with the FS Labs. Yeah, if you have the Steam version, just look at the video on demand. Just go back a few minutes. You can see where I've got it, where I found it. It's the, yeah, I don't know if it's going to help, but people say it should help. It's in the Asobo services, and then airport services shared. So rename the services.spb, just name it to services.off or something, and that's supposed to help. 2020 is it's 50% off right now. Poor. That's a tough question. Or is it better to wait to get the 2024? Honestly, I don't think I would invest in 2020 anymore. I think now we have so many aircraft available in 2024, good aircraft, that I just don't see a point in putting money into 2020 anymore. Ghost, no worries. No worries, all good. Uh, 2024, I think it's getting, stable enough to say it's okay. It's, you're not going to be getting too many headaches, apart from like now with that landing lag issue. But I think, that can happen with any update. No, I've not used the 16,000M, no. Ghost, no. Only the Warthog. Okay, so we've loaded everything. Gross weight 190 tons. So let's do init. Departure, 7 right. Sid, let's do that. Insert. Yeah, the control menu. Oh yeah, it's terrible. Yeah, I agree. So let's do performance, take performance, sync, compute, 220 tons. Actually, it's not 220, it's 190. There we go, performance. Right, so what shall we do? One more, we'll do one more abnormal. What shall we do? Yeah, we'll do one pattern and see how the aircraft lands. Yeah, bird strike. We can do bird strike, yeah. So let's do that. We'll do the checklists though. Let me just go complete checklist before start complete. Checklist after start complete. Trim, I have to set that a bit more. Oh, hang on. Trim 30.5. 30.5 is good enough. 30.5. Config test, fantastic. Then we do a taxi. Oops. Taxi checklist is complete. Lineup checklist is complete. Cool. Let's go. Manflex 67, SS runway. Auto thrust blue. What is a bit weird is the engine howls, right? Fuel leak would also be nice, yeah. Also a good idea. Right, 100 knots checked. So right now it's all nice and smooth.
V1.
Follow the wreck, gear up.
Too low, gear.
Oi, 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 oi. Oh, alleged engine spooling down, engine 1 fail. Ay, 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 ay. Let's maintain runway heading. Alright, so. Ouch, that sounds horrible. Any visual? No. Cool, about 400 feet. So, engine 1 fail. Yeah, ECAM actions. Landing gears up. Thrust lever 1. Confirm idle. 1 confirmed. Idle. Engine master 1 on. Confirm. Number 1 confirmed. Off. Engine damaged. Oh yes, please. Absolutely, right. So it is damaged. Engine 1 fire push button. Push. Confirm. Number 1 confirmed. Yeah, and again, I found it weird. I don't know if that's in the real aircraft as well. I mean, damage, yeah, but there's no... I'm gonna leave that, okay? We will override that. And then maybe that's how they do it in real life. So shutdown, fuel and balance monitor, go around thrust toga only, land distance affected, no. Clear, ELEC. Yeah, we can start the APU. Good. So we're accelerating. We're going to clean up here as we accelerate. So it says standby TCAS. Okay, clear. Avoid icing conditions. Roger, we'll do that. Yeah. Again, ALEC. Starting the APU. Bleed. Left bleed is off. Hydraulics. Both systems operating. We have a bit of a... Here comes flap 0. Speed checked. Flaps 0. We have all systems running via PTU. Fantastic. So clear.
Sync.
It's interesting that, I mean, we are on MCT. Max continuous thrust. And we're not really that heavy. And it's really struggling. Now we only have 4 knots tailwind, guys. What we'll do, we are going to go and fly the approach. Runway 25 center. So limitations, APU do not use, APU bleed do not use, avoid icing conditions, fantastic. So engine 1 shutdown, let's get, alright, let's remove the status. ECAM actions complete. Let's do new destination, Frankfurt. FSX 3 kilo. So we had a discussion. had a discussion in class which tool like hang on, what? In class which tool like airhead. I have to practice it to prepare for the test. I have no experience with that whatsoever. So I'm not the best person to ask on in that regard. Anybody else know? For the theory exams, has anybody used ATPLQ or some other services for that? Oh, that sounds so horrible. So ATPLQ is generally the most common used. Okay, how much is that? Yeah, this is like for the ground GSX menu. Yeah, don't worry about it. So let's quickly do approach again, this time INS 25 center. Oops. There we go. And I'm pretty sure that was 1014 earlier. Let's do... Oh, I can't send the weather requests. Okay. Hold on. So 1015 now. Okay. Flaps 1, speed checked. Oops. Ay. Start. So let's clear. Approach phase is active. Let's go flaps 2, speed check, flaps 2. Bit of freestyle here, guys, just to see if the lag is now gone for landing. That's really the key thing for me. So that was 1015. Right, 25 center. Let's make a visual approach on that. Gears coming down. I've stopped using James. I've stopped using Sim Toolkit Pro because of the issues with FSUI PC sometimes that I've had.
$2,500.
Let's check manual thrusts. Flaps 3. We'll do a config 3 landing. So the approach checklist, bar ref 1015 is set. Minimum visual, runway condition dry, auto brake. Let's do medium. Checklist complete. Then we'll do the landing checklist. Landing checklist complete. Cool. All right. Landing at departure is perhaps not a good test, as Frankfurt is never fully loaded. Well, I don't know. We'll see. So this is like the first test now. So if this doesn't have any lags, we'll see on our next flight with the FS Labs going to Nantes. And then we can see if that's better. Yeah, so up to now, it's all good. Performance is nice. Everything's smooth, so 1000's checked. TVs, you say, it's after a long flight. Well, we've had it on the shorter flights as well. On the last stream, Glasgow and then to Brussels. Horrible lags on touchdown. And I've never had that before in 2024. In any add-on. And then suddenly,
500.
maybe with SU2 or some update that came along.
400. 300.
So again, up to this point, absolutely no complaints with FPS performance. Nice and smooth.
200. 100. 90, 80, 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20, retard, 10.
Well, it's better this time.
5.
I would accept that. That is fine for me. Right, so we'll try again on the next flight. So you could also check the RDRT thread. Goes up. Okay. Cool. Right, that. Okay, guys. So, yeah, I have to say, I'm happy with the A350. It is. I would say it's a little bit performance heavy still. I could hear the cooling fans, and sometimes you hear the kind of sound cut again. So, yeah, it's a bit heavier than what I've seen in other aircraft add-ons lately. But apart from that, hand flying, yeah, maybe you could argue it's a little bit light on the controls, meaning it's kind of missing a bit of inertia. But otherwise, again, I wouldn't really complain too much. I think it does what it's supposed to do, and now some nice scenarios, situations that you can play with. Yep, and I think also it's stable. We had no crash desktops or no freezers, anything like that. So that's good as well. So where do I see assistance? Where do we have taxi things on? Taxi ribbon. Yeah, I think I need to find. Let me just find if I have a keyboard binding for that. Taxi ribbon controls. So Svegatus, it's a file under official Steam Asobo services, and then airport services shared, and then it's the services.spb. I can show you the link that was posted on the Phoenix site, and further down you see that file you're supposed to look for, and there have a look if that helps you. The next test will be the FS Labs. We'll be flying out to Nantes to see what happens there. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if that really helps. So let's go keyboard and then taxi ribbon. Taxi ribbon. There we go. Ah, that's the thing. You see? Let's get rid of that, so that we don't have that. Okay, cool. Guys, thank you so much again for all the resubs. Thank you for the support, guys. Stay tuned. 5 minutes. I'll be back again. I'm going to fly the FS Labs from Brussels on the flight number 15. Brussels to Nantes. About an hour flight time, hour 10 flight time. So pretty much what we are used to. And I'll stop the stream without the outro. So again, quick setup. Give me 5 minutes. I will be back, as always. Yes, I'm not really, tight on VRAM. I have like 11, 12 gigabyte VRAM, and I have 22 available, or almost 24. So that's not the issue. And I have turned down ray tracing shadows, yeah. I think I've turned them off as well. Goofy, thanks. All right, guys. See you in 5 minutes. Take care.